What's up guys, it's your boy Evan here, and today I am back with another Black Ops 2 commentary. Before we get into this video, I am using my friend's Xbox account for this because my account is out of gold membership and I've just been too lazy to go get more, so yeah. Okay guys, so I have a little story for you guys, okay? This is pretty interesting. So this past Sunday was the last show for the community musical I was in, Shrek. And it was a pretty interesting musical. Okay, so here's how it went down. We were called at the theater at 1 p.m. And just a general note for me, I just always like being at practices or rehearsals or shows or anything like that. I always like showing up early. So I showed up maybe around 12:30, okay? I put my stuff down and everything, and I was just sitting in the chair, just chilling out. And then I see under a countertop, I see this huge bin, and the first thing I see is a piano accompaniment book for the whole show. So, being the big music nerd that I am, I decided to look through it a bit, just because I was curious about how the music went for the piano and for really anyone else in the pit orchestra. So I take about a good few minutes to look through all of that, and then I notice right underneath that accompaniment book, there's this tablet underneath, okay? So my first reaction was, well, whose is this? At first I thought it was this one guy's tablet from musical, because I know that he doesn't have like a smartphone like pretty much the rest of the world, and he uses his tablet for communication. So I thought it was his at first, but I knew that it wasn't because I knew like what it looked like. What the fuck? Aren't you supposed to like crouch and avoid that? I found this tablet and then I tried to turn it on, but it was completely dead. Luckily, I had a charger with me, so I plugged it in and I gave it a few minutes to charge up and to turn on. And then as soon as it turned on, the first thing I did was just kind of look through the tablet to see if there was anything about whose tablet it was. Alright, I'm like looking through the settings, I looked through his YouTube, that didn't really help me, and then I looked through his Facebook, and then I found out that it was actually my musical director's tablet. What the? I'm not going to say anyone's names, I'm just going to say that this was my musical director's tablet, okay? So then I go to everyone and I go, hey, our musical director's tablet is here, what do I do? And then one of my castmates, they go, you know what? Just to kind of joke with our musical director, let's say that we found his tablet, but let's tell him in kind of a different way. So basically what they wanted to do is, they wanted me to post on his Facebook wall as him saying, hey, we found your tablet, come find me. Or, it said something else, I don't remember exactly what we said. But, whatever, so I did. So I posted on his wall, and then about a good 10 minutes later, I look on the Facebook messaging private group that we have for everyone in the cast, and the crew for that matter. And we see our musical director post kind of a lengthy message. I'm just gonna take a little bit to pull out like something and to find the message. So give me a minute. Okay, so here's what he says: the matinee will not start until I have it back, regardless if I left it laying around. Whoever found it should have asked if anyone knew who it belonged to before they did something stupid like that. I'm extremely disappointed with this group right now, and if I don't have it back, I am willing to call the police. So that fucking scared us. And then he posts another message. Once I find out who did it, I will only be disappointed in them and not the whole group. But until then, ... So he was pretty pissed. He was pretty pissed that we had his tablet and he wanted it back. So we're just feeling bad for him. And then about a good, like, let's say about a good maybe half hour, no, maybe not a half hour, maybe about a good 15 minutes later, we were just all in the guy's dressing room, just jamming out to some music and everything, and then the sound person comes up, and then the whole room just goes dead silent, except for the blasting music. So she looks at me, and then I decide to turn down the music, and then she goes, thank you, and then she looks at all of us, and then she goes, where is it? And then we all just assumed that it was the tablet. So we gave her back the tablet, she walked away, everything else was good. She walks up again, another 10 minutes later. Again, the room goes completely dead silent. She goes, okay, so I thought just giving him back the tablet was going to be good enough, but now he wants to know who actually did it. Who actually posted on his wall, yada yada yada. So, he's pretty fucking pissed. And he said that he wasn't going to start the show until he found out that who did it. So we're all just like, oh shit. Well, most of us were just like, oh shit, and then some people were like, oh, this is really like childish of him. He can't just stop the show just because he doesn't have his little tablet bag and he doesn't know who fucking did it. Me, I'm just like, this is fucking bullshit. So it was right when the show was supposed to start. I think it was like 2:30, somewhere around there. And my best friend Kenny actually went to go see the show. Him and his family actually went to go see the show. So I'm like, we ain't stopping the show when he's here. So right when the show is supposed to start, he finally gives in and goes, okay, we'll start the show, but I still want to know who did it. So he calls places in 5 minutes. Alright? Oh, come on! You asshole. So the show starts, and I'm in, like, the second scene. Like, there's a song about introducing the main character, and then there's my scene. Alright? Right after the show starts, I don't know what the fuck came on to me, but I just started freaking the fuck out. Like, majorly, like, freaking out. I was, like, hyperventilating as shit, and I was bawling my eyes out, and then everyone, like, kind of saw me. And then the costume person, you know, kind of like took me to the corner, like we were talking and everything, and I just had to admit it. I had to admit that I was the one who posted on there, and I apologized and everything, and she goes, okay, I'll tell him that you did it.
Friendly counter UAV inbound.
And then she told me that I had to relax because I had to be on in a little bit, so I'm like, okay, alright, you're right, we got a show to do, let's go. So that's that. Sorry guys, quick interruption. I never got to mention this in my commentary, but I did want to say that I was doing all of this in front of a girl I really liked. So yeah, that was embarrassing. So we do the show, alright? We do the show, and then everyone's still talking about like how like childish our music director is being, and like how none of this should have happened. So the musical ends, alright? We all change out of costume, we all go out to see our friends and families and everything, and I was just so, like, psyched to see my best friend out there and his family and everything. Like, I was the first one to get into the dressing room and to, like, tear off all of his clothes, get back into my normal clothes and everything, just so I could go see everyone. And I was just ecstatic and everything. After everyone left, we had to strike the set because it was our last show, and yeah, we just had to strike the set because our theater, you know, they had another show coming up and they still needed to set up for that show. So, yeah. So we're striking the set, and then our musical director calls me over. So I walk over, and he just looks me dead in the eye for like 5 seconds, holds out his arms, and then starts walking towards me like he wants a hug. So I'm like, okay, alright. So we hug for a little bit, and he's a pretty big guy, so it was interesting. So we hug, and then after that, he just looks me dead in the eyes again, and then jokingly says, I hate you. You know that, right? And I'm like, yeah, well, so I apologized, he forgave me, and he said, don't do stupid shit like that again. Please don't. And I'm like, okay, alright. So, all was good and done, and I was just fucking relieved to hear that. There we go! That's what I should have gotten before. Alright, and then one more quick detail was, after we strike the set, it only took us about an hour and a half to strike the whole set. Like, we got shit done. So we strike the set, and then our musical director invited all of us to this diner, a little bit further away from where I live. It's called Fox and Hound. So we were all there, and I just look at him, and I say, am I allowed to, like, audition for any more of his shows? And he's like, oh, come on, don't be ridiculous, of course you are. So I was just fucking relieved to hear that, and because I was actually thinking about auditioning for one of his shows again. Okay guys, that's going to be the video. Before I go, I wanted to give a huge shout out to my best friend Kenny, aka Koda Wolfie. I'll leave all of his stuff in the description or wherever. But I just wanted to give him this huge shout out because he's been an absolute beast to me. He's been letting me use his setup to edit and record my videos since I don't have the proper stuff myself. And this is actually his setup right here. He was nice enough to let me come over while he's at school to edit my videos. So just a huge thank you, Kenny. I love you to death, and just seriously, just thank you. And a huge thank you to Josh for letting me use his Xbox account. So that's gonna be the video, guys. If you liked the video, please leave a like, leave a comment if you want, and if you like the videos that you see, please be sure to subscribe. And I guess I'll just catch you guys in the next video then. Peace.